Hey guys, Fredner22 here, and welcome back to part 4 of my Q&A answers video. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and it's my buddy Jason from GutMunchers.com, his final question. If you go to conventions, who has been your best and worst guests to meet, and why? Excellent question, dude. A total convention geek. I go to tons of conventions. I've been to California for the Halloween one. I go to Monster Mania, which I think is the best convention out there. It's located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And they expanded to Connecticut and soon Maryland in September. So yeah, I go to Chiller. Yeah, I'm a huge convention whore, absolutely. As far as the best people I've met, I would have to say Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger, obviously. He was awesome, dude. I mean, he just really takes a lot of time. I mean, there's such a long line of people to meet him, and it was the first time I've ever met him, and I've met him, like, several times now. He's a really cool guy. But yeah, he just, like, takes a lot of time, and, like, you know, I had all my original Elm Street posters for him to sign, and we were just talking about, like, the artwork and just filmmaking in general. Like, it wasn't, like, a conversation where we were talking about, you know, his portrayal of Freddy and stuff. We were talking about just, you know, the artwork and, you know, just filmmaking in general and films today and stuff like that. So it was cool, you know. I mean, he was a really nice and sincere guy. Another person that I really liked a lot was Glenn Shaddix, who played Otho in Beetlejuice. I met him a few years ago at a Chiller convention, and he was really, really nice, just a really great guy. And that was before Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had come out. It was like in the fall I met him, and that film was slated for July of 2005. And we were talking, and I was like, Glenn, I was like, it would be really great if, you know, Tim, like, collected a bunch of, like, you know, the people that he had worked with, in his earlier films to play the parents of the bratty kids. And yeah, he was like, yeah, I would love to play one of the parents, because he had heard that, you know, Tim was doing it. He hadn't worked with Burton since Beetlejuice, so that would have been a really great opportunity for Tim to, like, use, you know, a lot of Burton regulars, but sadly he didn't. Another person was PJ Souls. I love PJ Souls. She was awesome. You know, Rock and Roll High School is one of my favorite movies. Halloween's one of my favorite horror movies. So she's really, really cool. And we were just talking about, at the time, Rock and Roll High School was still out of print on DVD, and I still didn't own it, and she was just talking about how Roger Corman was so stupid, because that's all she gets asked at conventions, is where like, her fans can buy the movie, but she just didn't know what to tell them because it's been out of print. There's such a demand for it. So thank God Shout Factory just collected a whole catalog of Roger Corman titles, and they're putting them out on DVD and Blu-ray over the course of the next few months, so that's great. And the next few people, Migo Hughes from Pet Sematary and New Nightmare was awesome. He was a really cool guy. And Jill Whitlow, Steve Marshall, and Jason Lively from Night of the Creeps were awesome. As well as Tom Atkins. The whole cast from Night of the Creeps were really, really awesome. Me and my buddy talked to Steve Marshall for, like, over 15 minutes in line. Like, he just kept going. So he was just very personable, down-to-earth, and very cool. And Fred Decker was another great guy, the director of Night of the Creeps and Monster Squad and RoboCop 3. He's awesome, has an awesome, awesome knowledge of film, and just really appreciates the fans. So that's, you know, the best thing when you meet somebody. And I'd say the worst would probably have been Linda Blair. It was, she was just, at the time, like, I met her at a Chiller, and this was before people were getting really ridiculous with charging people for photographs with them, and she was charging, like, $5 for a picture with them, and I thought that was unbelievable, but I obviously coughed it up because it was my first time meeting her, and, you know, The Exorcist is such a great movie, but somebody had snapped a picture of her from a distance, and she got up from behind her table, got in the man's face, and was, like, bitching him out, and I, like, saw this, I witnessed this, and I was, like, taken aback at how just, you know, how mean and rotten she was to somebody just, like, taking a picture, like, from a distance. Like, she didn't, you know, move from her table to take a picture with the guy. He was just away, like, taking one shot of her, like, signing people's autographs. So I couldn't watch The Exorcist for, like, a year because I just, like, was so turned off at how she was. And she just, like, rushed me along pretty quickly. So it wasn't really a good experience, but, you know, I've heard that she is nicer. It was just probably a bad moment for her, I don't know, but yeah, that was probably the only possible bad experience I've ever had meeting somebody. Good question though, man. The next question is from BMLR Productions. Who is your favorite superhero? Batman, absolutely, the best. Doesn't get any better. And he also asks, what do you think of plans to make another Ninja Turtles movie? I'm completely excited about it. The 25th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles was this year. I thought Kevin Munro and the guys that did TMNT, the 2007 CG film, was great, but believe me, I'm really excited to know that there's, like, a huge urge for, like, the company to, like, push for, capitalize on the 25th year and making a new live-action Ninja Turtles movie, because I loved those. I mean, the first and the second one. This third one's pretty shitty, but the first one especially is just great. I mean, I love that movie, so yeah, I'm excited. Next question is from Jane Silent Bob 24, and he says, how did you get started on collecting DVDs? I just love movies, man. I'm just gigantic movie fan, as you can see, and I started probably when I was in 7th or 8th grade, and the first DVD purchase I ever made was the Nightmare on Elm Street box set, and I believe at that time it was like $150, but now you could get it for like $40. But yeah, I just, that's how I got started, and ever since then, as you can see, it's just been a crazy addiction. So, yeah, it's huge. I love movies, man. And then he also asks, now that a lot of movies are being remade, what is one movie that you don't want to see a remake of? Although this has been in the works, and I believe Howard Stern's production company is supposed to be doing it, and I did read that, he had hired Alex Winter again, there he is coming up again, Alex Winter, to pen the screenplay for it, and it was a remake of, Rock and Roll High School, and, I just don't think he can do it. I think that the Ramones were just such a crucial part of what made Rock and Roll High School as fun and memorable as it was, and it's just like, how can you make a film when, like, the Ramones' music and themselves were just so important that, I mean, you simply just can't put another band in there, because it's just not going to be the same movie. Like, you may as well just not call it Rock and Roll High School, just, make a different movie out of it. So, like, I mean, if they go through with it, it's going to be what it's going to be, but I just don't think, I think that, like, the time period it was set in, the people that were in that, the humor that emerged from that, and just the strength of the Ramones and their presence and music in the film is just so crucial that I don't think that you really can remake a movie like that. But another one that is happening, Pet Sematary is actually being remade. They actually just hired one of the screenwriters from 1408 to pen the screenplay, and you would think that I'd be kind of on the fence, but I am actually looking forward to it. I would like to see, like, what they're going to do with a Pet Sematary remake. First and foremost, if there's one thing that I can say to the team that's behind that, I would absolutely consider, the screenwriter, had obviously a relationship with John Cusack after working on 1408. I would absolutely take heavy consideration into having John Cusack take over for Dale Midkiff's role in Pet Sematary, because I absolutely think that would work. I remember a few years ago, there were rumors that George Clooney was circling the Pet Sematary remake, so, I mean, I think those were debunked, but, if you would want to consider him too, that's fine, but I really think that John Cusack actually has the chops and the presence to kind of take on a role like that, so I would absolutely keep him under heavy consideration when it comes time to casting. Let's see, we're getting down to the wire again, and, next questions are from Josh D. 722. His first question is, who is your favorite Dracula? I gotta say Bela Lugosi. I mean, he's just classic, the best. Who is your favorite actor and actresses? If you can't come up with a favorite, just name some that you like. Johnny Depp would have to obviously be my hands-down favorite actor. Yeah, a lot of people say that Tom Cruise is nutty, but I think Tom Cruise is a terrific actor. I mean, he's just got a great body of work. Worked with some of the greatest directors, ever. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's great. John Cusack, I love. Actresses, I love Helena Bonham Carter. Anne Hathaway's great. Kate Winslet's got excellent acting chops. And I love Christina Ricci. She's excellent, too. Good question. And his final question for me was, what was your inspiration to get on YouTube and do these videos? I had just gotten a new computer that had a webcam, and I saw that it was a pretty easy thing to, like, upload videos to YouTube, so I was watching a lot of people on YouTube doing these, and yeah, it was just pretty much an urge to have fun and have, like, a new hobby, so it's pretty much just as innocent as that. I wasn't looking to get famous, or, I'm not trying to get famous, so I just think it's fun. It's cool to, it's cool to meet other movie fans and, bullshit about movies and stuff, so it's fun to maintain the channel and just have a fun hobby, so that's basically it. The remaining questions, we're actually going to cut the video off now because I'm running out of time, but yet again, we're going to go just switch over to my Q&A playlist and tune into part 5, the final part of my Q&A answers video. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. This is Frightener22.